Hello, I'm Chris Williams from Read Comics They're Bad For You, the name of my YouTube channel. Or if you're watching this on Library or BitChute, the name of my channels on those two websites is Comic Freak. We're going to be talking about a writer for Disney. Matt Martin uses its Star Wars to explain hackery. Apparently, he thought he could basically explain all of the problems with current Star Wars storytelling by saying it's Star Wars, to explain the hackery and the bad writing. So he thinks he can explain it like it's Star Wars. Star Wars isn't that well written to begin with, and he thinks he can explain all the bad writing he himself is making by saying it's just that. But let's see his tweets here. Here's one from Ryla Memes. What did Pride mean when he said jam their speeders? How would they have done that if the Resistance was using speeders? Yeah. How do you explain using a jamming device to jam something like a bicycle or a car? With what? How are you jamming it? It's not like it has internet access. Matt Martin says, it's Star Wars. The tech is made up. They would have jammed it by pressing the jam button, I assume. And right there you can see he doesn't really care and just says that it just happened, basically by magic. What a stupid response. No, you cannot just jam something by pressing a button. If that were real, people would basically be able to do anything. He goes on to say, that wasn't meant to sound rude or anything, but TDW, this is just one of those things that separates Star Wars from sci-fi. Things work because the story says they do, rather than because of some deeply thought-out scientific explanation. Except that we don't need a deeply thought-out scientific explanation. While the tech in Star Wars is made up, most basic words are not. So we can simply look to the basic definitions of words instead. What we find is that jamming is all about blocking the electronic signals, according to phantomtechnologies.com. An RF jamming equipment is a device that is used to block the reception of or transmission of signals. It does this by creating its wave in the form of interference, which is similar to the same wave and at the same frequency ranges that a telephone uses. With this, a telephone user will have to lose the signal he is using or have a major loss of signal quality. It is usually not easy to detect telephone jammers, and telephone users will be experiencing minimal effects in their network's signal, like poor signal reception. The use of the RF jamming equipment can be in any location, but they are widely used in places where telephone users may be disruptive, like in the restaurants and libraries. So no, they can't just use a jammer to jam a frickin' speeder. No, you don't use a jammer to basically knock out a vehicle. If it had something like internet access, you could maybe send something like a virus to basically shut down the vehicle, but you can't do that with a jammer. So for Pride to say jam their speeders would be like a Navy boat captain saying jam their jet skis. Since neither the speeders nor the jet skis are electronic signals, what Pride is saying is total gibberish. Even though it's Star Wars, this is of course because Star Wars content under Disney is being written by clueless morons who know nothing about anything, as I've repeatedly stated in this blog. Today's writers under Disney are far more concerned with polyamorous administrators as a sign of realism than they are with the basic terminology used in war. Even though the title of the franchise contains the word war in it, you'd think that people from a political ideology that is familiar with terms such as cultural jamming might understand this, but alas, understanding just isn't in the cards. And here we have a tweet from Delia S. Dawson. I'm not going to get her name right because she doesn't get anything right in Star Wars, who thinks it's more important to basically talk about how women need to be, represented more realistically in Star Wars by saying about having their, unbelievable that she would actually mention their periods. Now, I'm not really going to read her tweet here. I'm just going to say, why would you mention this in a novel, especially a space adventure novel? How does that help the story at all? This is stupid, lady. And going further, unbelievable that they would, or anyone would allow that to be written into a Star Wars novel. Like the article said, Disney is currently having a bunch of idiots and know-nothings write their Star Wars canon for them, and yeah, it's going to fail pretty horribly if they continue with that. If you like this video, subscribe. Make sure you're still subscribed because YouTube is going around unsubscribing people, so make sure you're still subscribed. If you're watching my videos but you're not subscribed, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Read comics that are bad for you, then go over to Library and BitChute and subscribe to my channels on those two websites. They're both named Comic Freak. Hit that bell for notifications. Hit that like button and leave some comments down below. And if you could you also please share this video, share it on Twitter, share it on Reddit, and share it on Facebook. Share it anywhere you think it'll do the most good, because YouTube is not going around promoting their own YouTube careers anymore. So please share this video. Now listen closely, it's that time of the day again. Keep checking back in all my future videos for more information on my own upcoming independent comic book scumdogs. I'm Chris Williams, and I'll be back again tomorrow with another video or review.